Hey Raiders fans, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Las Vegas Raiders. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. The NFL never disappoints when it comes to surprising twists, but this one has left fans in pure disbelief. RASUL Douglas, the cornerback who quickly became a defensive leader with the Buffalo Bills, has officially packed his bags and is heading to Las Vegas to join the Raiders. The rumor began buzzing through social media late last night when insiders hinted that a deal was in motion, but few believed it could happen this quickly. Douglas, after all, was considered one of the key figures in Buffalo's secondary, a player who not only brought toughness, but also an instinct for big plays when the game was on the line. His departure feels like a thunderclap across the AFC East, where quarterbacks had to think twice before throwing anywhere near him. And now, instead of facing him just once every few years, those in the AFC West will have to deal with his aggressive, ball-hawking style on a regular basis. Bills fans are stunned, many asking how the front office could let such a reliable defender slip through their fingers. Meanwhile, Raider Nation is exploding with joy, convinced this is the missing piece for a playoff run. It's not just the shock of the move itself, but the timing that has amplified the noise around this blockbuster shift. Buffalo was riding a wave of momentum, with their defense clicking after a rocky start to the season, and Douglas was front and center in that resurgence. To see him traded away at a moment when chemistry seemed to be solidifying has ignited countless debates. Some argue the Bills must have been motivated by salary cap pressures or long-term roster planning, while others insist there has to be more beneath the surface, perhaps a locker room issue or internal disagreement. On the flip side, Las Vegas fans aren't asking questions. They're celebrating like they just hit the jackpot on the Strip. They see in Douglas not just a veteran with leadership qualities, but a fearless corner who thrives under pressure. His ability to read routes and frustrate top receivers is exactly what the Raiders' secondary has been missing. The move might have caught everyone off guard, but Raider Nation has embraced it like destiny. The human side of this story is equally fascinating. Douglas himself has not yet given a long interview about his feelings on leaving Buffalo, but snippets from those close to him suggest mixed emotions. He built bonds in the Bills' locker room, and his energy was contagious among younger players who looked up to his work ethic. Yet, there's also a spark of excitement in him, knowing he's joining a team that is desperate to redefine its defensive identity. Las Vegas offers not only a change of scenery, but also a stage drenched in lights and drama, perfectly suited for a competitor who loves to perform when the stakes are highest. Fans online have already been crafting montages of his highlights in a Raiders uniform, even though he hasn't yet played a single snap for the team. That's the level of anticipation this move has sparked. It's as if one man's arrival has instantly shifted the mood around a franchise that has long been craving a sense of urgency and swagger on defense. Douglas might feel bittersweet emotions, but the opportunity ahead of him could be career-defining. Media reactions have been intense, and the headlines practically write themselves. Shockwaves in Buffalo, one outlet declared, while another shouted, "Douglas brings the shield to Sin City." Analysts are divided, some calling the trade brilliant for Las Vegas, while others warn that Buffalo could regret this for years. The Raiders' defense has been criticized for inconsistency and lack of playmakers in the secondary, and now, with Douglas in the fold, expectations have skyrocketed. The message this sends is loud and clear. Las Vegas is tired of being viewed as an afterthought in a stacked division dominated by the Kansas City Chiefs. By adding a proven playmaker, the Raiders are signaling that they're not afraid to make bold moves in pursuit of legitimacy. For the Bills, however, this feels like subtraction without addition, unless another surprise move is waiting behind the curtain. For now, their fans are left scratching their heads, wondering if this was about money, strategy, or something deeper that hasn't yet come to light. Either way, the storyline has become one of the juiciest talking points of the season. When fans think of RASUL Douglas, they think of clutch interceptions, of breaking up passes at exactly the right moment, of being the reliable presence who never seems rattled by pressure. Those highlights have been replayed countless times in Buffalo, where fans were proud to claim him as one of their own. Now, those same clips are being shared by Raider Nation as proof that the future is suddenly brighter. Social media has turned into a battleground, with Bills fans expressing betrayal and disappointment, while Raiders fans gloat and taunt their rivals. It's the nature of modern sports, where news travels instantly and emotions spread even faster. But behind the banter, there's a genuine sense that this trade could tilt the balance of power in the AFC. A player like Douglas doesn't just bring skill, he changes the mentality of a defense. He gives teammates confidence, knowing there's someone who can shut down a dangerous receiver or flip the momentum with a single play. That is exactly why this move feels bigger than just a roster adjustment. It feels like a cultural shift for the Raiders. Coaches, former players, and analysts have all chimed in, adding layers to the growing conversation. Some believe Buffalo's coaching staff had too much faith in their depth chart and underestimated how crucial Douglas had become in their scheme. Others argue that Las Vegas may have overpaid in desperation, banking on one player to fix what is actually a systemic issue in their defense. But one thing everyone agrees on is that Douglas will not shy away from the spotlight. He has always embraced the role of being counted on in critical situations, and Raider Nation thrives on that exact kind of bravado. Already, the conversation has shifted to how he will fare against the division's star quarterbacks, from Patrick Mahomes to Justin Herbert. Can he be the difference maker who finally helps Las Vegas hold its ground against such elite offenses? The debate is fierce, but the excitement is undeniable. For the Raiders, this isn't just a signing. It's a declaration of intent. For the Bills, it's a puzzling decision that could haunt them if their secondary falters in the months ahead. As the dust begins to settle around this seismic move, one thing is abundantly clear. This is more than just a player changing teams. This is a narrative shift with ripples across the league. Buffalo fans are wrestling with a mix of sadness and anger, struggling to make sense of why their front office would part ways with such a proven asset. It's not just about losing a talented cornerback. It's about losing a personality who fits seamlessly into the culture of their defense. Meanwhile, in Las Vegas, celebrations have reached fever pitch, with fans flooding forums and fan pages, declaring Douglas as the piece that could finally spark a postseason breakthrough. The city thrives on showmanship, and this acquisition fits perfectly into that identity. A city of lights and spectacle now has a new storyline to rally behind, and it involves a defender whose style is as gritty as it is spectacular. The anticipation for his debut in the silver and black has already become a countdown event among Raider Nation. A fan base desperate for good news and hopeful that this is the beginning of something special. What's intriguing about this trade is the ripple effect it may cause within both organizations. For Buffalo, the departure forces their coaching staff to shuffle their defensive scheme and lean heavily on younger, untested players to step up. It's a gamble that could either reveal hidden gems or expose glaring weaknesses, depending on how things unfold. For Las Vegas, the addition of Douglas could completely reshape how opposing offenses approach their game plan. Quarterbacks who once exploited the Raiders' secondary may now think twice before targeting his side of the field. This doesn't just alter defensive strategy, it impacts offensive play calling across the AFC West. Suddenly, a division already brimming with competitive storylines has another dramatic layer. Imagine the drama when Douglas lines up against a superstar like Travis Kelce or Keenan Allen, knowing fans across the country will tune in just to see how he handles those challenges. The trade has done more than change rosters. It has rewritten the script of key matchups and reignited rivalries that fans will eagerly circle on their calendars. There's also the emotional undercurrent, the human drama that makes sports so magnetic. For Douglas, leaving Buffalo means leaving behind teammates who trusted him and fans who adored him, but also means stepping into a city where he will be embraced as a hero. For the Raiders' locker room, his arrival could inject energy and leadership into a group that has often lacked consistency. Players thrive when they know their organization is committed to winning, and bringing in a proven playmaker sends exactly that message. The sense of accountability rises when someone like Douglas joins the room, and suddenly everyone feels the pressure to elevate their game. In Buffalo, however, the opposite effect could take hold. Losing such a cornerstone figure can create doubt, and doubt is contagious in a locker room. The Bills will have to work overtime to keep morale high and ensure this move doesn't fracture the unity they've worked hard to build. That's what makes this trade fascinating. It's not just about X's and O's, but about human psychology and the ripple effect of one decision. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Critics are already dissecting the financial side of the deal, another layer of intrigue in this evolving saga. Salary cap dynamics always play a role in these situations, and many speculate that Buffalo simply couldn't justify Douglas's contract against their future roster needs. If that's true, then this becomes a long-term chess move rather than a short-term decision. But the problem is, fans rarely care about spreadsheets and financial planning when their team's defensive backbone is shipped away. On the Raiders' side, the willingness to absorb that contract is being spun as a symbol of ambition. Ownership and management have clearly decided that competing in the AFC West requires bold moves, and they're willing to invest in proven talent to get there. The gamble is significant, but so is the potential reward. If Douglas anchors the Raiders' defense and helps them secure wins against top-tier rivals, no one will remember the cost. If, however, he struggles or injuries derail his impact, critics will be quick to label this as another reckless splash by a franchise that has taken its fair share of risks. Fans, of course, will never stop debating. In Buffalo, message boards are filled with posts lamenting what could have been, with some already declaring this the worst move of the year. In Las Vegas, optimism is bordering on euphoria, with bold predictions flying about deep playoff runs and defensive dominance. Social media platforms are flooded with highlight reels, memes, and endless arguments between fan bases, turning this trade into a cultural event that transcends the sport itself. This is what the NFL thrives on: drama, passion, and storylines that keep fans glued to their screens even in the middle of the week. Every opinion, every take, every reaction adds fuel to the fire, ensuring that this trade will remain a talking point for weeks to come. And when Douglas finally takes the field in a Raiders uniform, the spotlight will be blinding. Every move he makes, every pass defended, every interception attempted will be dissected and replayed endlessly. The stakes are enormous, not just for him, but for both franchises that have now tied part of their reputations to his performance. Ultimately, what makes this story so captivating is the sense that it's still unfinished. We're at the beginning of a chapter, not the end, and nobody knows how it will play out. Will Douglas become the hero who transforms the Raiders' defense and cements himself as a legend in Las Vegas? Or will this be remembered as the moment Buffalo's defense took a step back and their season unraveled? The beauty of sports is that narratives can flip in an instant, and one game can rewrite months of speculation. What we do know is that the buzz around this trade has already made it one of the most talked about events of the season. Fans will argue, analysts will debate, and players will adjust, but the spotlight will not fade. RASUL Douglas has gone from being a respected figure in Buffalo to a symbol of hope in Las Vegas. And with that transition comes enormous pressure. Whether he thrives under it or falters will determine not just his own legacy, but the trajectory of two franchises now bound together by one bold and shocking decision. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.